There, now I'm recording. Okay. When I'm at school, we have to meet on Wednesdays in a group, and all of the English teachers meet together. And one of the problems that we have at Vineyard Alternative School is our course logs. A course log is like a list of all the assignments that a student has to do during the semester. Our course logs at Vineyard High School are old and they need to be updated. And part of us getting our accreditation, so accreditation means an agency comes in and they give us a certificate to say that our school is accredited by the government, meaning we're doing all of the right things to teach our students in the right way. It's really important for a school to be accredited. Part of our accreditation is we have to update, we have to change our course logs to be more new because they're very old and we need to make them more new. We have to add newer books and we have to add assignments that are updated. So we had this task to do in our group, but we had to solve the problem of how are we going to do it? And we would spend the entire time talking about how we were going to do it, and then we would never do it. So we spent all year last year talking about how we were going to update our course logs. And now this year, we're going to have to do something about it, right? Because in 14 months, the accreditation team is coming and they're going to be checking our course logs. So we have to make sure that they're updated. Okay, so finally, the principal and the vice principal assigned me to decide how we are going to update our course logs. And now I'm supposed to tell all of the other teachers how we're going to update our course logs because everybody spent too much time talking about how they're going to update their course logs, and we never actually got anything done, or we got very little done last year. So now this year we have to have some guidelines. So sometimes it's not a good idea to have a group solve all the problems. Sometimes you need to give groups guidelines first. And then you say, okay, you have to make this change, and this change. Now you talk about who is going to do what, right? So sometimes it's better to have one person make the bigger decision and the group make the smaller decisions, right? So can any of you talk about that, a time when trying to solve a problem in a group got to be a problem? And sometimes this happens just at home, right? When the family has to make a decision about something and nobody can decide and everybody wants to do something different. Anyway, who would like to speak to that? Any ideas? I'll let you think about it for a minute. Like maybe times in your family where everyone in the family wanted to do something different. Any ideas? Luis, do you ever have this trouble at work?
Well, kind of, teacher, because the last time, maybe 2 months ago, we need to decide about the change the schedule. It's not easy because everybody have a different opinion about that. But the first time I draw a meeting just with my boss, I explained to him was my opinion about that. Then the answer was, okay, Luis, prepare a meeting with the full team and explain your point of view and try to get a just point, like a common point, give me that information to me. Well, the first time, snow was easy, was pretty difficult. We just try a brainstorm ideas related to the schedule and put in two weights what is the pro and what is the cons. Well, finally, we present a unique project for the change the schedule like propose, we're waiting for the bus. But
Ah,
it's not easy because in that moment, the first time I work by myself in the project, present to my boss, and then meeting with the full team, write a brainstorm, and then present to the boss.
and how close was the full team's idea to your original idea?
Was pretty close. Yeah, it was pretty close because we choose in three different scenarios. And the first one was the best for the full team, but always we have a little different in sometimes is what is the time for start the schedule, how many hours you work by day
Okay.
per week. Yeah.
Got it. And he used the word scenarios. That's one of our vocabulary words, scenarios. So he came up with three schedule scenarios, meaning three different versions of a schedule. They had to decide on a new schedule. So they came up with three different schedules, three different scenarios, and then they had to decide which was the best.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what scenario means, a different version. Okay, and he says that they ended up choosing one that was very much like the one he presented first. So here is another example of maybe having one person come up with the idea first, then presenting that idea to the group, instead of just having a blank slate and coming up with the idea in a group for the first time, because that can be very difficult. It was already difficult even after he already presented the idea, the one idea, right? He said it was difficult. So now they're waiting to see what the boss says. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a good example. How about maybe somebody at home? Do you ever have troubles making a decision as a family to go somewhere or do something? What to have for dinner? Nobody can decide. I think Marina wrote about making lunch. She did a really cute um, analysis. Okay, wait, I have to look hers up. But she talked about her problem was what to make for lunch. That was one of her problems that she had to solve, and I thought that was great. So, Marina, can you speak to that? Is it troublesome sometimes because everyone likes different food?
Uh, yes, in our family, it's a problem. Every day we make a decision what will we eat for dinner, and everyone want something new or something different from yesterday, and this problem, especially when we solve it as a group, as a team. And usually I make a decision.
Because you're the cook, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The cook gets the final say because you're the one that's got to make it and go get all the groceries and do all the work. So it's good to have somebody around to make the final say. Definitely. Okay, so when you start writing your comments, you can think about our discussion that we just had. so you can have some ideas about what to say in this discussion. So I could write one right here, and I could say, making, sometimes it's better, it is better to narrow down the choices before you bring them to the group. So there are less things to make decisions about. Okay. Otherwise, you spend a long time spend too long coming up with ideas and not enough time because what was the question? Think about a problem you were asked to solve when you were part of a group. Give specific examples of obstacles that make the problem solving with a group difficult. Okay, so maybe we better think about obstacles. Okay, so let's word it the way they do in the question. The first obstacle that is difficult in a group is that everybody has different opinions and ideas. Now I can put this part. Sometimes it's better to narrow down the choices before you bring them to the group so there are less things to make decisions about. Otherwise, you spend too long coming up with ideas and not enough time finding solution or deciding on solutions. Okay, so what is another obstacle then of working in a group? Too many opinions is one. I don't know if I can think of another obstacle. Maybe people don't have jobs.
Distribution of work.
Yeah, distribution of work. So the second obstacle is that people do not have assigned jobs. So nobody takes responsibility for doing anything, right? So that was actually one of the problems that I had in my group is where just everybody's sitting around talking, but nobody is in charge of doing anything. So now this year, I've defined what needs to get done, and I'm asking the groups, the first thing I'm asking them to do is to decide who is going to do what. And I'm asking them to put their name next to the thing that they're going to do, so I have a record of it. So it's very important to assign jobs when you're working in a group, and then write down who the responsible person is for that job. Okay, so I'm going to put here, people don't have assigned jobs, so nobody takes responsibility for doing anything. It is important to assign, and it is important to assign jobs to each group member and keep a record of who is doing what, so that later You can check on the progress of the work, right? That's the thing, is last semester we didn't know what we were supposed to change. We had to figure out what we were supposed to change on our own, and we never made that decision. Nobody had a job, so nobody knew who was in charge of what. And then we didn't have a timeline either. So we didn't know when it was supposed to be done. So nobody really got anything done. Any other obstacles about working in a group that you can think of, working in a group?
Also, maybe one obstacle, sorry, I think one obstacle could be you didn't get along with the people in the group.
That's a very good one, you guys. People don't get along. They don't want to work together, right? So that is, okay, we'll name 3. So then the third obstacle, that commonly happens in group decisions, or in group problem solving, is that the third obstacle that commonly happens is that people don't get along or don't work together. So this actually was something that happened in my group at work. Some of the teachers outright said, I'm not going to do any work. They literally said that. They said, I'm an older teacher here at Livermore. I'm tenured. I have a contract. I already do all the work that I get paid for, and I don't have to do any more work. And I'm not going to. So it left some of the younger hourly teachers to do all the work, because some of the older tenured teachers, the teachers that have a contract, that can't get fired, that already get paid for all the work they do, they just refuse to do it. So it left a lot of work to just a few people. So that was another problem. And then sometimes people just don't like each other. They don't want to work with each other. This happens a lot at school. When I was a teacher, this happened all the time in like the younger grades. When you put certain kids together in the same group, they fight the entire time. They're just arguing and fighting, and no, not that way, and not that way. And nothing ever gets done, right? So it's that people don't get along or don't work together. So how would you solve this problem then? I know in my 4th grade class, I would purposely put certain kids together that I knew would get along, right? But I don't know, in the situation with the teachers, you can't really make somebody do something that they are not willing to do. I guess unless you get the principal to tell them they have to. I don't know. I don't know how you would solve that problem. People don't get along or don't work together. This problem is difficult, but maybe strategically grouping people together who work well together is a good idea. Or gosh, what would be another solution to this problem? People who don't get along. Or having rules. Having very specific ground rules that group members have to follow. So in our situation, the principal could have said ahead of time, you contracted teachers can't say no. She could have said that before we even met together, right?
Right.
If you have an open window in your schedule, because we meet with students one after the other throughout the day, but sometimes we have students who finish a course and another student doesn't begin and fill that spot. It's just an open spot. So the principal could open the calendar and say, look, you have an open spot. So during that time, you can do some work on the course logs, right? So you might have to have like a higher power come in and set some rules, right?
Mhm.
Is a good idea. Or having very specific ground rules that members have to follow. So the rules set by a leader, right? That group members have to follow. Okay, so those are 3 different obstacles. So keep those in mind. You guys can write about those yourself when it's your turn to answer this discussion question. So let's see, can I actually enter this? Okay, I'm going to post my reply. So now my reply is there for everyone to read. I hope the teacher doesn't get mad at me for doing it. She's going to be like, you gave them the answer. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren.
It will give you some ideas, right? So next one, analyze a problem you currently have. And then what are ways you could get around the obstacles? Okay, so like obstacles for a problem. Do any of you currently have a problem that has things that are getting in the way of you getting it done? Take some time to think. I'll just let you guys ruminate, think it over. Okay, just kind of go, problems that I have that I am encountering some obstacles. I can't get it done. I'm having problems getting it done. So I'm going to think about a problem I have that isn't getting taken care of. We're not able to do it. Okay. Do you have any problems that you have obstacles? My husband just walked in the room. I'm asking him for his ideas. Problems that get in the way, that you have obstacles that get in the way. Problems right now that you have with obstacles that... What? Oh, registering the car. Oh, is it Amy's car?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh gosh, that one is a good one. Working with the DMV, there are always many obstacles when working with the Department of Motor Vehicles. You guys all know that, I'm sure, if any of you have tried to work with the DMV. I won't go into his problems. They're too detailed. But did you think of something? I can hear somebody chiming in and out. Am I going to have to call on someone and put you on the spot?
Your obstacle is getting to work out.
Yes, I do have an obstacle. Time to work out, but it has to do with my schedule as a teacher. But I have started teaching classes at the fitness club on Fridays and Saturdays. So now it partially solved my problem of not working out, because now I have to go because I'm teaching the class on Fridays, right? So the obstacle before was I didn't have time. Well, I guess that was kind of an excuse, because guess what? Now I have time, because now I have to teach the class. So sometimes when we say we don't have time, it's really not that you don't have time. It's really that you just need to schedule time, right? You have to put it in your schedule. And maybe the problem is more about motivation and scheduling than it is about not having the time, right? I'm sure you must all have something like that. Something you don't do that you really want to do, and you're just not scheduling it, and you're not making time for it, and you don't have the motivation to do it. Can you think of something like that? It's so quiet tonight, you guys. I need your help.
For example, sorry, may I?
Yes.
Well, for example, for me, it's difficult to organize my time. Well, I used to say, "Oh, I don't have time. I couldn't make it," or so. I have, for example, many some activities, but I organize myself not in the best way. So I don't organize my time, and or sometimes uh, I don't know. Sometimes I am lazy. For example, for one activity or something, and I am late, and well, I am delayed. I am late for all my activities during the day or during the week. So it happened also for example, for homework. For me, it's difficult. I have uh, I have a little bit of time, but if I organize my time in a better way, I I could have more time, and maybe to be more how do you say, maybe be more
Proactive is a word. Proactive. That
yeah.
means thinking about it ahead of time.
Yeah, that's right. Proactive, and and finish my tasks, my no my activities. Be more productive with my time and everything. So, for me, it's uh, a great deal, you can say, or a great difficulty.
Okay,
It's a
it's a great
great problem.
difficulty. Okay, so you have your obstacles are that you do things late. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, because I don't organize my time
because you don't
in the
organize your time. Okay,
yes,
so
in a
that
better
would
way.
be a great thing to put in this discussion. Then you could say, the problem that I'm having is I'm turning in my homework late, or I'm showing up late to my activities, and the obstacle is that I'm not organizing my time the way that I should. And then it says, what are the ways you could get around the obstacles? Okay, so, well, that's a simple one, because if the obstacle is that you're not managing your time, then it's really easy to realize that you should write down your schedule and try to organize your time better. Write down what you're going to do each day and when. Maybe plan ahead for your homework, decide which days you're going to sit down and work on it, and schedule that time. So that would be an easy fix for that obstacle, right? So that's what you're going to talk about for this particular discussion question. Now, the mind mapping one is difficult because it's asking you to draw a mind map. And I'm not quite sure how you would do that. So I'm going to just give something a try and let's see if it works. So let's say we open up a blank Google Slides presentation, because there are some simple drawing tools in a Google Slides presentation. Or we could even do Google Draw. There's also another program called Google Draw. Is it here? Let me see. I don't see it here. So maybe I'll just do slides because it's something that you guys all can find easily. and we'll just open up a blank document. So, because the question for this particular discussion is, how would you use mind mapping to solve an actual problem that you're having? Remember, we did this. We did a mind map the other day about types of things our kids are doing on screens, because we wanted to just get an idea of what in the heck are our kids doing on the screens all day. We didn't even really know exactly what the heck our kids were doing on the screens all day long. And to solve that problem, you first kind of have to know what's going on before you even decide how to handle it, right? So I'm going to scoot this over. So if you open up a blank slides document, you can see that it just comes up with a blank page. And the first thing you want to do is just delete all of the squares that are already on it. Okay, and then you're going to use the circle tool. So can you guys all see my screen okay? And so yeah, I'll just make this a little bigger. Oh wait, I guess that's not going to make it bigger. Okay, this tool right here is called the circle tool, and you're going to click shapes, and then you're going to click on the circle. Now there's a little plus, and you can make a circle. And now, let's see if it'll let me actually type in the circle, or if I have to put, oh, it does. It lets me type inside the circle. So let's say the problem is doing everything late. Should we say doing something specific late?
Maybe homework.
Yeah, let's just say getting homework, turning in homework late. Okay, so let's say turning in homework late. Okay, so now we can make another circle, and we can add all the different ideas. So go to shapes and circle. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to create a bunch of different circles by going Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. And I made a bunch of circles that I can now drag around on my document. Like this. And now we can come up with ways to solve the problem of turning in your homework late, a brainstorm. So what's one thing we could do to solve the problem of turning in the homework late?
Have to take care of kids.
Oh, have someone watch your kids for you?
We turn in late because we don't have time to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because we have to take care of the kids.
So we're going to just, right now you want to talk about, because I'm thinking of like solutions.
Okay.
But maybe we better, I guess we should talk about the reasons why your homework is late first. You're right, because if we don't know why the homework's late, then we don't know what to solve. We don't know what problem to solve. So you're right, let's do that first. So your kids' school or homework or kids' activities get in the way. Okay, what are some other reasons why we turn our homework in late?
Cooking.
Okay. Must cook and make meals. Okay, another one.
Don't organize my time.
Yes, that's a solution. So let's say don't organize my time. Okay, what's another one?
Attend classes.
Okay, so you have lots of classes that are getting in the way of you doing your homework?
No, we are spending time for the classes as well. And maybe other classes or other homework.
Okay, other homework or classes? Okay, another one?
Too many homeworks.
Too much homework. So then, well, we could talk about solutions in a minute. Okay, and one more.
Doing home chores.
Okay, so we have chores. We have meals. We could just say home chores. Okay. All right. So now you could start attaching, like if you look here, we have a line tool. So if you click on line, you can now create a line from that middle one to, so you have to click on line every single time. You can create lines from one to the other, and this becomes your brainstorm. Line tools, just like this. It's crazy, but it works. I want
Excuse
to
me.
see if this, yes, go ahead.
Excuse me. And chores, home chores are like activities, tasks.
Yes, definitely. Activities. I don't know. I guess the other thing is work. We didn't even talk about work. Like, I know Luis must feel this. Trying to do homework after a long day of work. So I almost want to say must cook and make meals. I'm going to put home chores in with this one. And then I'll make this a smaller font. And then I feel like we should make home chores be, let me just make the font smaller. Okay, and this should be work. Work for your job, right? There, okay. So now we have all the things. So now you could attach the solutions to the outside of each of these bubbles. So you don't necessarily need a bubble. You could just do it like a little text box. I wonder if we could, yeah, I think we do need a text box. So we have these little text boxes that you can write in. So you could maybe not stay late at work. Not stay late at work is one possible solution to the work job problem. Like for me, sometimes I choose to spend a lot of time on my work when I could just stop for the day and leave that work until the next day. Sometimes I overwork. Okay, so let's see. I want to make my text box be dark. So I'm going to set my text box to have thicker border weight, like that. Then I can do the same thing. I can Control C, Control V, Control V. Oh, wait a second. Nope. Backspace. Okay, this one I want to copy. Control C, Control V. Wow, why isn't it copying it? Maybe if I have to go like this. There we go. And you can just drag these boxes all around in order to put solutions here. Okay, so I guess this is how you would do a mind map, right, online, because she's asking you to do a mind map, but it's really difficult to do when we can't turn in paper, right? We can't draw one on paper. So this is the way you would do a mind map digitally. This is one of the ways. You could also use Google Draw. Okay, so in the boxes are all of the solutions that you can come up with for each of these obstacles or problems. So that's how you would solve a problem using a mind map. Okay, so I think we'll stop there. But now my question is, so I'm going to just show you something. I'm curious if I can copy and paste this into that document.
Yes.
So shift, first of all, I have to select everything and make it one. So I'm holding down the shift key and I am clicking on every single thing that I just made because I have to group it together to make it as one. Otherwise, I'm going to be copying every single thing individually. So if I click and select every single thing on the page and I go arrange and then I click group, it makes, hopefully that's working, arrange. Okay, it should be grouped. So now when I move it, it should move together all as one, and it does. So now it's grouped all together as one. So now I'm going to Control C. I'm copying that whole thing. Let's see if this fits. I could make it smaller too. I'm going to go to the discussion. I'm going to click reply, and let's see if we can stick that in there. I hope. Cross our fingers. Control V. Darn it, it doesn't work. Okay, so I have another idea. Let me go back.
No.
I'm going to take a screenshot. All right, so let's go back. I'm going to go back to my document. Where is it? Over here.
One way is to attach the file. You can attach the file actually.
Can you?
Yeah.
And how do you attach it, you guys? So is there a way to attach?
Yes, there is a way.
Okay.
You can
and-
reply.
I think that
There is a, let me see.
Maybe, Vamsi, maybe you could share your screen and show us how to attach a file. Because I'm in as a teacher right now. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to have you guys, and I'm going to have you share your screen. Is that okay, Vamsi?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Vamsi's going to teach you how to attach a file. So you could make that mind map in your own Google Slides document, just like I did. And then you can attach that file in Canvas. So Vamsi's going to share her screen and show us her student view so we can see how to attach a file.
1 second.
Sure. We'll give her some time.
In the meanwhile, may I ask you something, please?
Yes.
Narrow down. It means we have to choose only the best option, right? If we have 20, maybe the 5 best options, something like that, right?
That's correct. To narrow something down means you are narrowing it down to the best choices. You're picking the top choices. Yeah. Okay, I'll just give you some time,
Thank you.
Vamsi, and let me know when you're ready, okay? I'll just move on, and then when you're ready, I'll stop sharing, okay?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sorry
just
about
let me
that.
know when you're good to go. Okay,
Yeah.
so I taught you how to make a mind map. Okay, so now you hopefully could do that on your own if you wanted to, because I think it's really cool to submit and show the teacher, that we could do this, that we can make a mind map and show how we would do it to solve a problem. So that's a really great thing to do. So now we're going to look at our reading because we have not finished going through all of the reading and I know a lot of you probably have already finished reading, but some of you may want to talk about some of the reading before we finish the course. So we left off last time with the Pareto chart. Remember, we talked about this bar graph, which is another name for a bar graph, is a histogram. histogram or bar graph. And this is showing how many times the damaged radiator caused the engine to overheat, right? So we went over this. It's the how many times each of these problems caused the engine to overheat. And then this right here is called a line graph. Line graph. And it's plotting on a line the cumulative number of engine overheats. So it goes from 31 to 51 to 59, and it keeps going up. It's adding each of these on every time throughout time. Okay, so it's a bar graph and a line graph that plots all of the different reasons why the engine is overheating. Okay, so the next, and these were all, if we go back up here, these are all ways to identify what is the problem, right? So we went through the fish diagram, the fishbone diagram, and we went through the Pareto chart. And now we're talking about a check sheet. So this is another way to identify what the problem is and what thing is causing most of the problem. Okay, so you could create a check sheet. It's a way to collect data in real time. So somebody would hold a chart like this, and they would walk around and they would watch what was happening in the moment. And every time a problem happened, they would mark it. 1, okay, there's a problem with that, mark. And the next time another problem happens, oh, that was a problem with that one, line. Okay, so it's a way to keep track of problems that are happening in real time while they're happening. So you might have a chart like this, maybe Luis in your assembly line, like maybe some of the people at the stations in your assembly line might have a check sheet. And every single time they discover a problem, like a part without a, what do they call the scanning codes? Without a barcode, they would check it on the sheet, a part without a barcode, right? And they just do it in real time. So that's what this thing does. And then at the end, you look to see where most of the problem is happening. So let's look at this chart right here. I hope I can understand this chart. I'm going to make it big. And I'm going to try and increase the size of the screen. Oh, I guess that's as big as I can do. Okay, so it says, these are all the different parts. Right here, part number 1011, part number 2011, part number 3011, part number 4011. So these parts are put together with solder, which is like liquid metal. They heat up metal until it's liquid, and then they join together the pieces of the parts when they drip liquid metal in between the two pieces, and then the metal cools, and now the pieces are connected together. That's what solder is. So it says samples of 1,000 solder joints. Cold solder, no hole in the solder hole, grainy. So these are all problems that happen with the solder. So here they're saying the solder is too cold. Because if your liquid metal is not hot enough, it's not going to make the pieces of the part stick together. Okay, so that's a problem. The solder has to be hot enough. That's a problem when it doesn't happen. So no solder, meaning whoever was putting the part together, they thought they dripped solder in, but they didn't. They attached the piece and they didn't realize there was no solder. They forgot to drip solder, and so that piece is going to end up falling off later. The next one is grainy solder. So that means that the solder is bad. They need new solder. The solder is grainy, and so it falls apart easily. You need to have liquidy, very fluid solder. The next one is a hole is not plated through. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means, anybody? Mask not properly installed, pad lifted. Okay, so these are all of the problems. So can you figure out which parts are having most of the problem?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, part number 1011. It's having all of these problems continually. So this part, you might want to go look at the person who's assembling this part. Whoever's in charge of X1011, they're in trouble because they're doing it all wrong.
Right.
They dripped on cold solder. They didn't get the solder in the hole. The solder's the wrong consistency. It's grainy. The hole isn't plated through. I don't know what that means. So whoever's putting together part 1011, they're doing a bad job. It's a lot of problems with that part, right? Okay, so this, and they're just keeping track when they find it. So this helps them figure out where the problem is. Okay, so that's checklist. Okay, so this next section is talking about barriers. So let's say this word, barriers.
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 So barriers means the same thing as obstacles. It means things that get in the way. So what could go wrong? What prevents us from solving problems? Okay, so most people face a problem in a certain way, and they try to solve it based on what has worked for them in the past. Oh, my mom always did it this way, so I do it this way, right? Or they have habits of doing things a certain way, so they keep doing that same habit. For example, the last time your computer froze, you restarted it and it worked fine. So the next time your computer freezes, you go, oh, before I just restarted it and it worked. So I'm going to do that again. I'm just going to restart my computer. But unfortunately, this time restarting the computer does not work, right? So sometimes we use old solutions and we have no current solutions, right? We haven't figured out new ways. Here's an example of how we think can mislead us. What do you think you see? So look at this picture right here. What do you see? It actually, I know, I see it too. I can see it, but you might look at it at first and only see the black and go, oh, I don't know what that is. What is that? It's like some weird designs, some weird black designs. I don't know what these things are. What are these things, right? And then, but if we look at it in another way, from a different perspective, we realize, oh, this spells the word think, right?
Oh, it's think. I didn't see the think. I was seeing
Yes,
just
I
black,
saw that.
black
I saw that.
flashes.
Right? So if you look at the black, you only see some weird designs. If you look at the white, you see that it spells the word think. So all we had to do was change our perspective and realize that, oh, we were missing something. We didn't even see it, right? Same thing with using old ways of solving problems. Sometimes we don't even see the new way of solving a problem. Here's a famous example of this barrier to problem solving with a dot problem. So I kind of don't want to show you the solution. So it says in this problem, there are 9 dots arranged in a 3x3 square. The solver is asked to draw no more than 4 lines without ever lifting the pen or pencil from the paper to connect all the dots. The solver usually assumes that the lines cannot go outside of the square dots, right? So people make an assumption before they even begin solving the problem. So we're told that we can only use 4 lines and we cannot lift up our pen. So let's see if we did 1, 2. Oh wait, the solver is asked to draw no more than 4 lines without lifting the pen from the paper to connect all of the dots, all of them. So we could do 1,
It's difficult.
2. Yeah, we can't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't get all the dots. This one was left open. What if we did 1, 2, 3, 4? Again, I'm missing these 2 down here, right? But if you look what happened. They went outside the lines. So they went 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you had to do was realize, oh my gosh, they didn't say you can't go outside of the dots, right? They didn't say that. So that changes everything. Now I can do 4 lines and I can touch all of the dots. Okay, so there's another example of sometimes we make assumptions that get in the way of us finding the solution. Unrelated or unimportant information that will not help solve the problem. Here's an example. 15% of people in Fremont have unlisted telephone numbers. Okay, so 15% have unlisted telephone numbers. You select 200 names at random. That means you're just picking names here and there with no order, just at random. You don't even know whose phone numbers they are. You're just picking one from here, one from here, one from here, all over the place. 200 of them. How many of these people have unlisted phone numbers?
What is the meaning of unlisted phone number?
Unlisted means not in the phone book.
Oh, okay. No, in the phone. Oh, okay. I got it. Thank you.
So unlisted means not in the phone book. Okay? So what's the answer? The answer is none, because you selected the 200 names from the phone book, right? So that means this 15% of the people in Fremont with unlisted numbers has nothing to do with the 200 names at random from the phone book. They're 2 separate things that have nothing to do with each other. And it says how many people have unlisted numbers. None. If you're selecting 200 names from the phone book, then none of them have unlisted numbers. Right?
Right.
Another thing that confuses you and makes you think, oh, this must have something to do with the problem, but it doesn't. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, so sometimes unrelated information can get in the way. Okay, so creativity and problem solving. All right, so this is a new section that we're talking about creativity. And we're almost to the end of the course. This last section, oh gosh, no, there's a lot more, huh? We'll probably need to meet again on Friday to go over this next section. So Vamsi, did you come up with a way to attach a file?
So it's not actually attaching a file, but it's an image.
An image.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to let you share your screen. Are you able to show us?
Yeah.
All right,
Let me
I'm going to stop sharing. So Vamsi is going to show you guys how to attach an image to your discussion. I'll let her share her screen.
Okay, let me share my screen. Share.
And then you want to pick the one that shows your whole screen.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's Vamsi. Okay. So she's going to go to her.
This is my canvas here.
Yes.
And I'm on the course non-grade business LPC 203 section. This one, the decision making and problem solving. And I'm going to the discussions. No discussions, right? Sorry, it's not this one. Click to.
Yes, because we're in this.
Okay, clicking on the discussion board one.
Yes.
And then click reply.
Yes.
Embed image, click on this one.
Okay.
And go to second tab, canvas.
Okay.
Select one of the folder here, my files, upload file.
Okay.
Right now I have only this image. Sorry, guys. So I'm updating it.
Okay. So do you think it would do that with a, can you just do a blank slides page and see if it would upload a slides page?
I think it will take only the image because it's saying only embed image. You may need to create that as an image. Maybe take a screenshot and
Yeah, maybe a
save it as.
screenshot.
Okay, so you could take a screenshot and that would be your image and put that in a file.
Yeah.
And then use embed image. Okay, so I'm going to try that, Vamsi. So can you stop sharing?
Oh yeah, sure.
And I'll try that with mine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me try now. Share. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my image. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. So the way that I do screenshot on a PC is I click the Windows button, Shift and S, and it lets me make a screenshot of this section. Now it's just attached to my clipboard. And then I wonder if it would let me see if I could directly put it in there like that. I might not be able to. I'll go back to the discussion board. I'll go here, Control V. Will that work? Nope, that didn't work. Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'll definitely take that screenshot and just put it in a file. Huh.
You can keep the screenshot in the paintbrush, paint and that, and create it like a image.
In the paintbrush
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I don't know. I need your help, Vamsi. Okay.
Es- excuse,
Let me put it in a images because I would have to start in the images. I don't know what to do. Okay. I want to, cause see, I have to say, cause it's got to be on my computer. So what if I put it on my desktop? Would that work?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
Control. Okay.
it
So
should work.
let me try this. I'll try putting it on my desktop. So I'll take a screenshot.
excuse me. How do you take this screenshot only of the chart? How do you take this screen?
And it's actually not working right now either. For some reason, it's not taking a screenshot. I click the Windows key, Shift, and
Okay.
S, and it's letting me do that. Oh, and look at this. This is interesting. No, but I just want to do this. And then I click and drag, and it's supposed to take. Oh, maybe I'm not seeing. Okay. I may have to do more research, guys, on how to do this.
Can you please open the paintbrush and then paste it there?
What's the paintbrush?
Okay, can you go to the Windows Run and search for a paint?
Oh, okay. Here?
Let me see. Yeah, in that type here to search paint.
Oh, okay. Paint. Paint. Okay.
The first one, can you please click on that one? Paint.
Okay. Got it. Ah.
Can you please say Control V?
And then see if it can go there. Okay, we'll try it. I'm not sure it's taking. Oh, it is. Look at that. Okay. So now, do I have to save this somewhere?
Yeah, please save it anywhere in your laptop.
Okay, save to. I'll just save it in. I guess I have to name it too, huh? I'll call it Mind Map. And then I'll save it to
Desktop,
the
yeah.
desktop. Yeah. Save. Okay, let's see if this works now, guys. We'll try it. I'm recording all of this, so you could fast forward to the end of this recording and you would be able to find out how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the discussion and I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to click on Canvas and then I'm going to click on My Files. Oh, is it going to let me go to desktop?
I don't think so. You have to click on upload file.
Oh, okay. Oh, upload file. There we go. That's it. Okay. Desktop. Ah, here it is. This one. Yay! Open. All right. Did it do it, guys? It should.
Come down and say update.
Oh, okay. Oh, on my screen?
Yeah, come down. No. Okay.
I totally.
I
Oh,
need to do again.
I'll do it again. I need you so much. Okay, Canvas, My Files, upload file. Oh, no, it's
Oh, they have
here.
It's
changed
already
there
there.
already.
Okay,
It is
there
already
it is.
there.
And then what do I want to do? Upload this file.
No. Come down, please. A little bit down.
A bit more. Ah,
Scroll
Oh,
down.
there is update button.
Oh.
Yay!
Oh my God, we did it!
Great.
All right, it's recorded.
Great. Finally.
This will be in the recording. And I'm so sorry, guys. I know. This shows you how bad I am sometimes with new technology. So it's okay. You can all feel good that you are better than the teacher. Oh no, now what did I do? Okay. Anyway, there's the mind map. So if you really, really are motivated to do a mind map for the discussion question, there's how you do it. All right. Post reply. All right. It's there. Okay, guys. All right. We
Perfect.
will have a class this Friday. I will post the recording of this meeting tonight on our classroom. So let's just look again at due dates for things on Canvas. For Module 2, let me just go back. Non-credit business 203. We go to modules. So if you look for today is 10/6, right? So you have until 10/11 to do all of the week 2 assignments, okay? And then you can move on to week 3. And I have started uploading the assignments for week 3 on our classroom. So if you look on classroom, you can see that the week 3 things are already there. So if you want to get an early start so that you can accept my corrections, please feel free. It gives me more time to take my time giving you back your corrections. So if we go to module 3, or not module 3, it's going to be week 3, not module 3. You can see that we have week 3 journal entry, which is here, week 3 vocabulary table, and the reading packet. Week 3 is also going to have the final exam. Okay, so I'm going to be posting that in the next couple of days. The final exam will be in there. All right, so that's the next thing that will be posted. All of your
Question.
yes.
Sorry.
Let me just say one more thing. All of your Cornell notes, they were finished in week 2. There's no more Cornell notes for week 3. You basically finished the entire course in week 2 with the Cornell notes. I think it's because the teacher wanted to give you extra time to work on the final exam. Okay, all right, now I can answer your questions.
So the question is about the Cornell notes. So there is a week 2 Cornell notes. The due date is actually given October 4th, I guess.
Yeah,
Is it supposed to be 11th?
I probably need to just redo that. Edit. I'm going to give you all the way until the end of week 3 to turn that in, because so 10/18. So I'm just going to edit that. So I have it open. I'm going to change the date to the 18th because it has the Cornell notes in there that go all the way up to the end of the course.
Yeah.
And then I'll click save. Sometimes I just make mistakes when I'm making these assignments. Okay, so that one's taken care of. You have till the end to do the rest of the Cornell notes, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, guys. I'll see you on Friday. We're going to talk about week 3. Question, Amy? No question?
Actually, I have questions.
Yes.
Actually, not question. I cannot attend on Friday. Can I
Okay.
just watch video and
Yes.
can I just put time in or just leave it
Yeah,
out?
go ahead, put the time in. Yeah, if you watch
Okay.
the video, you can count that as your time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also on Thursday, I'm sorry if this is different, but I think it's hard to email you. Maybe you cannot read it. I cannot attend on Thursday too, and I have appointment with you early.
Okay.
So can we
We
do
can
it next
cancel.
week?
We'll reschedule. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Any other questions before we go? You guys
Speaking
did a
for
really good job on your assignments, and a lot of you got them in early. I was really pleased about that. In our classwork for week 2. 8 people turned in the Cornell notes. 5, wait, this is week 2. No, I'm talking about week 1. No, I did correct week 2. IET. Anyway, I corrected a lot of your work. Wait, how come it seemed like there were more reading questions? That's okay. We'll talk about it on Friday. But good job. I'm sure all of you got my corrections, so you know that I corrected your work. Okay, Juan Carlos.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, please, for copy the image, the screen image is Windows and which key?
Oh, Windows, Shift, and the letter S. Windows,
I got it.
Shift,
Windows,
and the
Shift.
letter S. I wonder if you could see my keyboard if I did this. Can you see it?
But not.
The Windows
Keyboard?
key. Yeah, it's the Windows key and Windows Shift S. That's what you do if you have a Windows machine. Windows Shift S. If you have a Mac, you go Control Shift 4. If you have a Mac, I think it's Control Shift 4 for Mac. Okay, for screenshots.
Great.
All right.
Also, there is another way for the screenshot. There is a button directly like a PRTSC, something like on the first row, on the top row.
Yes.
Which key? Which key?
Print screen, PRT SCR. The only difficulty with the print screen is it's the whole screen, right?
Yeah, the whole screen, but when you paste it in the paint, you can cut it to the whatever image you want.
All right, if you paste it into Paint, you can cut it. But I just use the little drag tool. It's easier. It's Windows Shift S on a Windows machine. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. It's so late, guys. Time to go. All right. I'll see you on Friday. And if you can't be there, I'll record it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.